This is He Knows the Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. We keeping the foot on the what? On the next. We keeping the foot on the what? On the next. Richie Rich, man, what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
Yeah, what's going on, man? What's up? Salutes to you. Salutes to the people who are coming in along in the chat. We got a great show for you today. Dissecting the Lakers and the Clippers. That game last night, it's a lot of takeaways from that game. It was the first game back. They did the restart. It was interesting. Those guys, they were able to get through the game and play. The Clippers, they were missing a couple of pieces, because of those guys. Lou Will, having uh, being on a 10-day quarantine because he decided he wanted to go to Magic City to go get some wings. I don't know what he was thinking, man, but he just like we was discussing on the last show that these players are going to do what they want to do at the end of the day. You can't. These guys are adults; they're grown men. And Montrez Harrell, he still has his grandmother that's sick and he's by his side. So who knows how long it's going to take for him to come? That's priority number one. He's got to be there. So hopefully,
Mhm.
everything goes good with that. But there was a lot of takeaways from that game. And we're going to break them down. Hopefully, you guys in the chat, have some interesting stuff to say. Uh, you know about that game as well. So we're looking forward to it.
All right, man. So let's delve right into it, man, because we got to talk about it, man. The Lakers and the Clippers. There's a lot that's going on, a lot for us to unpack. Basically, as you see in the announcements, they said the Lakers were the first to reach 50 games for the first time since 2010, 2011. Obviously, they're making a big hoopla about it. Then we got Stephen A. Smith that's going back and forth, and he's giving you two variations. He's giving you one variation of, well, I told people that the Los Angeles Clippers weren't going to be able to hang with the Los Angeles Lakers. They weren't going to be able to play basketball on the likes of a Los Angeles Lakers. And then he turns around and says, well, I'm not too impressed with that win. See, you guys have to understand how LBJ Riders Media work. They do a number on you guys' brain. They have to give you this roller coaster, this feel good of, yeah, we're letting you know through decoded message the Lakers are going to win. But at the same time, we got to make this thing seem like it's not so obvious because that's what they're doing. They're doing this roller coaster with your brains. NBA fans are primed on wanting to see basketball. They just want to see something that gives them a feel good. So what's happening is their subconscious is getting dodo head to the level to where they're just accepting whatever. If you watch all of the ESPN talks, everything has been associated with the Los Angeles Lakers. There hasn't been talks in basketball about other teams. There haven't been talks in basketball about other players and other games that have happened. The New Orleans Pelicans played last night. But what has been the news all throughout the NBA? It's been the Lakers versus the Clippers. I wonder why. They're talking about LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers won 50 games. They're talking about Anthony Davis and LeBron James. But if you notice, they talk about Anthony Davis as if he's an afterthought. Who was the best performer last night for the Los Angeles Lakers? Wasn't it Anthony Davis? Didn't he drop 34 points? Didn't he have 8 reads? Didn't he have 4 assists? But why are they sitting here and going by what LeBron James did? As if LeBron James did some late game heroics at the end of the game. No, he didn't. If we look at the full numbers and we look at the foul calls, the Clippers had 30. The Lakers had 27. And those three more foul calls, those key more foul calls, guess where they were called? Those three more foul calls were called at the pivotal time and the pivotal juncture of when the game was on the line. The Los Angeles Lakers are primed to win this thing, folks. You guys have to see this stuff for what it is. Did you not see Max Kellerman's face today? He was like this. He was looking stupid. because he was just like, here we go again with this nonsense. I told you guys, if you're looking at the Los Angeles Clippers and you look at what the Clippers are doing in terms of basketball, they were peaking at the right time. The Clippers were doing their things and they were peaking at a pivotal juncture and a pivotal time that made the most sense for them. And that was right before COVID. Then Rudy Gobert gets tested positive. Donovan Mitchell gets tested positive. And in the season, Adam Silver has to come out and say the season is done. It's over with. Now look at what we're facing with and look at what we're dealing with here right now, Richie Rich. We're dealing with the media that has been over glamorizing the Los Angeles Lakers as if they're the only teams that exist. How many points did LeBron James score last night? I know how much he scored, but I just want to know from you. How many points did he score last night? You're on mute.
What? Didn't he score like 22 points?
No. He scored nowhere near that.
18.
There you go.
18 points,
He
yeah.
scored 18 points. And they talk, you know what they're talking about? LeBron James is a genius defender. That's what they're talking about right now. Look at the job he did on Kawhi Leonard. Look at the job he did on Paul George. When have we known LeBron James to be a genius defender outside of him doing chase down block?
He fouled Paul George on that play. You know that, right?
Thank you. But they acted like they didn't see that. See, I was going to allude to that, but I'm glad you said that. That was not a foul?
That was a straight foul. He put his forearm right on PG's hip.
And didn't he do the same thing to Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah.
He hand checked Kawhi Leonard like nobody's business. I thought in today's game, you can't hand check. Now, we know back in the day, you could be able to hand check when it came to basketball. But I thought you couldn't hand check when in this day and age. You can't hand check in today's game. What happened to that? Why is he hand checking?
The rules don't apply to LeBron James.
This is the stuff that I'm talking about, man, and it makes absolutely no sense. The media is talking about LeBron James being a genius defender. The media is talking about the Los Angeles Lakers winning their 50th game. The media is talking about, it's all good, Anthony L. We'll get you back in when the time come in. I'm sure you're gonna be getting in. Well, we're gonna do our thing. The media is talking about the Los Angeles Lakers and them as a team. This is ridiculous, man. But you know, I can't help but to toot my own horn in this situation. But I told you, and the prediction king strikes again, and the prediction king strikes again. I told you that they were going to do this because I saw this thing a mile away. And see, when Richie Rich talk, Richie Rich needs to school some people because Richie Rich, you know me for 35 years. And I think these people in the internet world, they don't understand. I'm a very weird individual, but in a good way. I say the weirdest and the most outlandish things, but don't they always come out to be right when I say it?
Yeah, I mean, it comes true. It comes true.
It's so weird what I say. It's so awkward what I say. But when I say it, like when I told you that Dwight Howard was going to go to the Los Angeles Lakers, what did you tell me at that time?
At that time, you know, I thought you weren't serious, man. Like, because the dude was saying that he didn't want to go there, and he ended up there. It didn't make any sense to me at the time.
You thought I was crazy, right?
Yeah.
You thought I was talking out of my ass, right? You damn near told me, hey, he knows, man. What the heck is wrong with you? How you going to sit here? What's up, Lewis Sports Network? How you going to sit here and say, Lewis. How you going to sit here and say Dwight Howard's going to go to the Lakers, but you don't have nothing behind it? It's because I saw the transactions. I saw the moves. I saw how things were panning out. And it ultimately made sense that Dwight Howard was going to bring his ass over there. There was no other way for him to go. And I'm telling you guys this stuff because I'm seeing it for what it is, man. All of the media's attention is on the Los Angeles Lakers. Why? Why do they get all of the love?
Yeah, that seems pretty fishy to me.
Why does LeBron James get attention over Giannis Antetokounmpo. Is Giannis Antetokounmpo playing with a solid number 2? No.
No.
LeBron James is not even the best player on his team. He's the second best player. Anthony Davis is statistically leading in 90% of the statistical categories. And look what happened. They're talking about LeBron. I want your take on this, man. I just wanted to start it off with this because we're about to heat this thing up, man. I want your take on what the media is doing on LeBron James and why they're using LeBron and the Lakers as their way of decoding that the Los Angeles Lakers are going to ultimately win this thing. What's your take on this, bro?
Yeah, man. I mean, your prediction you may have some validity to your prediction, man, because it's just very odd, man, how the media is giving him all the attention, and especially LeBron James. Like they're trying to, like speak it into existence that he's going to be the MVP. And Anthony Davis is doing all these remarkable things on this team, and he's still being looked at as like a second thought, man. Like he's not being paid attention to. You could already see that, in this game and in the past games that they played against the Clippers have the biggest issues with him, not with LeBron James, because he's a matchup nightmare for the guys that are covering him, that the Clippers are putting on him. He's basically a walking bucket out there. They can't stop him. He can do what he wants, but LeBron continues to get all the attention. It's like it doesn't make any sense. Like this guy, I'm not trying to hate on this dude, but I think it would be better, man, when he's gone. Like all these other players are gonna get more attention because you wonder why this guy. Listen, this guy's had his time, man. He's been to 9 finals. I hate bringing this up, but you've only won 3 of them. You went there 9 times and you only won 3. You formed a few super teams. You had your time. And LeBron, man, he loves attention, man. It's like with no attention is like no air for him. Like he can't breathe without it. He has to be relevant. This is the reason why he pulled that move to go to Los Angeles Lakers. When there was nothing left for him in Cleveland, this man was like this man really was pondering what his next move was going to be. And he was like, okay, I just can't go to any other team because this is going to be my last chapter of my career. I have to go to a team that's going to give me. I'm already a popular player, but this is gonna be like a transcendent thing because this is the Los Angeles Lakers we talking about here. This is a storyline franchise. They're number 2 in NBA titles. Celtics 17 titles, Los Angeles 16. Kobe brought 5 of those things over there. So Kobe, he's in basketball lore. LeBron's like, okay, if I go over there and I win championships and I break records, because he's not only trying to win a title over there, he's trying to break some records. He's trying, like he's already passed Kobe Bryant in scoring. He's trying to pass Michael Jordan in scoring. And if he plays long enough, he's eventually going to try to see if he can surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If he does those things, those are all, marks put on his legacy. People are going to be like, he did this as the Los Angeles Lakers. If he wins a championship, the media is going, it's all about perception. It's how you were talking about when how the media, they're able to like trick people's minds and make things bigger than what they are. Like him winning that one title for Los Angeles, they're going to try to put it on equate it as the same level of Kobe winning 5 rings for the Los Angeles, which is absolutely absurd. But that's what they do with LeBron. The politics with LeBron James, it just doesn't make sense, man. Like this guy has showed you he's a loser more than he is a winner on the biggest of stages. But they continue to back this guy. This guy has like how you talk a brigade, man. I've never seen this type of love brigade for any basketball player in basketball. Michael Jordan had his followers. Kobe Bryant had his followers. Magic Johnson had his followers. Larry Bird. But this right here is ridiculous. This is on another level. Guys looking at failure as success. It's like we in bizarro world. It's like when LeBron fails, they lift them up. They lift them up even more. It's like things have been turned upside down, man. I just don't get it. What kind of world are we in, man? Basketball world are we in now? I don't know, man. Adam Silver don't got a backbone because he's allowing this stuff. Like he's promoting foods and stuff, and he's not really growing these brand of new players. He's not really ushering these brand of new players. You see all this new talent of guys that they need to start focusing on. Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, you know, they got some nice players out there, man, that's doing their thing. And the guys who've been doing their thing for previous years. Damian Lillard. I mean, KD couldn't play this year. We know why. He tore his Achilles. I mean, Stephen Curry couldn't really play this year. But Kawhi Leonard, he don't get attention that he deserves. There's certain AD, he's playing with LeBron. He's not getting the attention that he deserves. You know, it's just certain guys in the NBA, man. They're doing some great things, but they're being overlooked constantly because the NBA, man, they have this. It's like they got this pact with LeBron that until his time is done, they're gonna continue to keep looking out for him, and it makes absolutely no sense when this guy's had his time. When we're used to that NBA where guys have come, they had their time, and they were done after that. This guy, he needs more time and more time and more time and more time. He wants to be relevant until he's done.
Yep.
Which is ridiculous. That's not how this thing works, man. When father time comes for you, father time comes for you. It's remarkable what he's doing. He's a durable guy. He's 35 years old. He's still able to run and jump like he wasn't like when he was 28, 29. Those were remarkable. It's like says, he keeps himself in spectacular shape. You gotta commend the dude. He spends $1 million on his body to make sure he's at tip top form when he's playing this game. So listen, you gotta commend him. You gotta give him credit for that. But this guy's a schemer, man. He's a schemer at his finest. When he realizes he's at a situation, he's at an impasse, he gets himself out of that situation and he puts himself in a better situation. And he gets celebrated for it. That should be celebrated, man. We need to start critiquing this guy for the schemer he is, man. He is not that great, man, because he knows how to put himself in a situation that hey, Tom Ross with that pads. He may be on them pads for real, but we don't know yet. But
we got biogenesis. We got gray hair.
Biogenesis.
We got balding. We already know
that stuff. But this hasn't come out fully to nail him. We got to get the facts that come out. But if that happens, then that'll be dark.
Your favorite player, Derrick Rose, got chided. You don't remember the video?
Yeah, I remember Derrick Rose said when he said that.
Hear David Stern say.
I remember David Stern says he buried the bodies. He know where the bodies are buried.
And then what did Derrick Rose say that next week that made everybody in the NBA and everybody start taking him off of the darling? What did he say about PEDs? And who did he mention was?
They asked him on a scale of 10. How many players on PEDs? He said a 7, which is high. That's a high number on a scale from 1 to 10. Which raised everybody's eyebrows. You know what I'm saying? David Stern made him recant what he said because he was like he didn't even want to talk about it anymore because David Stern told him to hush. That's how it is. The NBA is a brotherhood about stuff like that. They're not gonna let stuff like that leak out. They make sure they protect. We know guys are using, man. We even the top flight guys are using. But that stuff, man, if that stuff comes out, man, that's gonna be a very dark day for this game. A very, very dark day. You saw the hit baseball took when Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, all these guys, Barry Bonds, Alex A-Rod, all these guys were caught in that scandal, man. It was a dark day for the game. And that game has suffered ever since. The ratings have dropped. If that happens, man, the ratings are going to drop significantly in the NBA. Nobody likes to watch cheaters. That's how this thing is.
But see, we also have to address this, and we also have to talk about this. It's interesting that you brought this up, but I have to bring out 5 different variations of what LeBron James did, because I want the audience to understand what LeBron did. He used the full vernacular of the 27th law of power. That's why I tell you guys have to follow me when I'm talking. And when you see I lock in on somebody and I zone in on somebody, regardless who it is, there's a specific reason for that. It's because I've already discerned this person, I've already deciphered them, and I see the foolery that's associated behind him. LeBron James told you that he was not going to do anything that was going to bring attention to being socially aware, and then he does the obvious. And the class A narcissist, he kneels for the anthem, right? With Anthony Davis. He knew that was going to bring attention because he knows his name is LeBron James. See, you guys have to understand the 27th law of power. I have to bring this back because when I bring this stuff back, you guys will understand what I mean when I keep saying things. Because it's like a lot of times when I say stuff, it goes over people's heads. So I have to find myself bringing myself back to saying something again, the art of reciprocation, so that you can get it. Because this one needs to stick in the corpus callosum and it needs to stick in the cerebellum. The 27th law of power is play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. People, that's including me, you, Richie Rich, all of us. People have an overwhelming desire to believe in something. Become the focal point of such desire by offering them a cause. What is the cause LeBron offers? He offers the cause by him basically speaking without speaking. A new faith to follow. What is the new faith to follow? LBJ Writers Media, neuro-linguistic programming. He's using them to create and cultivate a cult-like following. He's been doing this for the last 16 to 17 years. Who is the new bug dancer? Who is the new Uncle Tom? Who is the new coon? I.e. Kendrick Perkins. Look at how Kendrick Perkins is going after anybody that has basically a distinct opposition against LeBron. Why did he have to go after Lou Williams? Do you think he went after Lou Williams because he wanted to? It's because Lou Williams plays for the Los Angeles Clippers. Y'all gotta start following the cookie crumb, man. Connect the freaking dots. He plays for the opposing team, so they have to shide. This is what a Steven from Django normally does. He has to shide his fellow brethren in front of the public for the massa. He has to do that. This is what an Uncle Ruckus has to do from Boondocks. He has to shine. He has to put the other brethren on display. And he did this because Lou Williams plays for the opposition team. Why did he do it to Kyrie Irving? Because Kyrie Irving was the first person to put LeBron out there on Jump Street. That don't nobody stunting for LeBron like that. Don't nobody want to play with LeBron. It's because of Kyrie Irving that you see the new generation of athletes are not playing with LeBron like that. Kyrie Irving set that up. Because why would a guy in that epic level of a Kyrie Irving just leave LeBron? That messed LeBron James' stock up. And Kendrick Perkins, being that he was on the Cleveland Cavaliers, felt some type of way about that because he's a buck dancer. He's an Uncle Tom and he's a coon. So guess what? He had to talk against that. And he definitely had to talk against Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant was anti-LeBron. He was the crooked little, drop that 35-foot in the eye 3-point shot in that damn face. Made the whole next year cook. And J.R. Smith, hey, you go guard him. I don't want to be on ESPN Top 10 Live. They can't stand Kevin Durant. He's the worst because he regressed LeBron James to officially the legacy is officially done. The cachet is officially over to an abysmal 33.3% NBA Finals averager and performer, i.e. 3 for 9. They can't stand Kevin Durant for that. So You guys have to see what LeBron did. He did a kneeling. What do you think that was going to do? It's going to bring attention because his LBJ apologists and LBJ stance was going to be like, oh, look what LeBron did, man. That was so special, man. You see, LeBron is for the cause, man. LeBron, man, he repping black people, dog. Look what he did. He kneeled. But where the fuck was he at when Kyrie Irving was saying, let's stop the NBA season? Wasn't he training in the offseason? See, y'all got to see this stuff for what it is, man. Y'all got to pay attention to LeBron James and his foolery and his occlusion. And then not only did he bring attention towards him that way, he made sure the LBJ Riders media painted the picture as if he did everything in the game, when we know damn well Anthony Davis did the heavyweight lifting. Go look at the stat sheet. Who dominated the game? Who made the key baskets in the fourth quarter to position LeBron James so that he can get the basket that he got? It was Anthony Davis. Because Anthony Davis, unfortunately for the Clippers, is an unguardable player. I keep telling everybody, he is a high-octane Chris Bosh, man. Why do you think Chris Bosh was at that game? Because Chris Bosh wanted to give Anthony Davis the nod of approval, dog. Damn, you just like me, just a higher octane variation, man. He had that one stamp of approval to the next. It was like a passing of the torch. Anthony Davis is the reason why LeBron James is where he's at. And last time I checked, because I really want you to harp on this, when Kevin Durant played with Stephen Curry, did the LBJ Riders media not say that Kevin Durant is immediately disqualified from MVP talks? Stephen Curry is immediately disqualified from MVP talks because they played with one another, right? Because they said Kevin Durant played with an over-the-top player. But didn't they tell us that LeBron James and Anthony Davis is the best two tandem in basketball? Did they not tell us that? Did they not? They are the best duo. So how the heck, if they're the best duo, now the storyline changes for LeBron James? Now all of a sudden, it's as if LeBron James is the guy that's running for MVP. Do you guys see how the LBJ Riders media stirs the pot into their favor? Do you guys see how they don't keep that same energy? Do you guys see the hypocrisy that's associated with LBJ Riders media? Because you're playing with Anthony Davis. Automatically, that should be a disqualification. Giannis Antetokounmpo is barely playing with Chris Middleton. Barely, y'all. But LeBron James is constantly playing with Anthony Davis. If that's the case, why the heck is he in the MVP talk? When we know damn well that Anthony Davis is the guy that's doing all the heavyweight lifting. Does that make any sense to you? So I really want you to harp on that. Why is LeBron James in MVP talks when he's playing with a guy that's clearly a top 5 player as well in the game of basketball? You got 2 top 5 players in the freaking game on the same team. Shouldn't that be immediate disqualification? Because they did that with Stephen Curry. They did that with Kevin Durant. So why aren't they keeping that same energy? I want your take on that.
It's the politics, man, with LeBron James, man. They want to see this dude get his 5th MVP and tie Jordan with 5 MVPs for his career. That's mainly what this is about. Because you got some of these dudes, media talking heads, that think LeBron James is on Jordan's level. So they want to see this man. These guys are the ones that vote for these players to receive these awards. You remember when they gave Stephen Curry that unanimous MVP? Some of these guys had a fanboy, liking to Stephen Curry. Some of these guys, they just wanted to see Stephen Curry get that MVP, so all of them voted for him, and they made it unanimous. That's why he had some of them players in the NBA hating on him, because some of them players were like, how the hell this dude got unanimous? It's because like some of these writers, man, these columnists that vote on the MVPs, they got a fanboy, type of relationship with or a favorite player in the NBA that they, this is why I think, players should vote for the award, or even include some fans into it, just to get a poll of fans, get the players and hash out the votes and see, what kind of votes the players are getting from the outside sources with the fans and amongst the players. These writers are too biased, man. It's sickening because you already see it. These LeBron James doesn't deserve the MVP this year. Anthony Davis leads the team in 4 categories, man. He's a defensive juggernaut on that team. He's the one that's scoring the bulk of the lion's share of the points. He's getting the lion's share of the rebounds. I think he even averages more steals than LeBron. He also averages 2.5 blocks a game. This guy's the MVP of that squad. But he's not the MVP of the league. It's Giannis, because we know what Giannis has been doing. He had that team playing like a well-oiled machine when Chris Middleton missed a month of basketball. If Anthony Davis was to go down, what do you think LeBron would find an excuse to get hurt and not play those games? Because he knows he's going to lose those games, and he knows they're going to blame him, and he knows that he's going to be out of the MVP talks. So this dude, man, I don't get it, man. He's been playing with Anthony Davis the majority of the season, and all he's doing is averaging 10 assists. I was talking to somebody the other day. They said some absurd thing to me. They said LeBron deserves MVP because this is the first time in his career averaging double-digit assists. So he deserves MVP.
Wow.
I'm like, man, the dude told me that LeBron deserves the MVP award because this is his first time averaging double-digit assists for his career.
So what you trying to tell me is Rajon Rondo should have got the MVP award when he averaged over 15 assists?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. How come Rajon didn't get that MVP award? How come Chris Paul still waiting for his MVP award? He hasn't gotten his yet. Didn't the last live we were talking about how Chris Paul deserved an MVP? This man got multiple seasons.
Russell Westbrook got seasons, but he did.
Russell Westbrook averaged triple-double. He averaged a triple-double 3 times. Where his 3 MVPs at? Listen, man, there's a sickening type of bias, man, with these these writers, man. They all need. Listen, I need to know every last one of them, man, so we can expose who these people are and their sick fanboyism that they have with LeBron James, man. Because
we already know who they are. It's Brian Windhorse Nutsack Ryder, the gargle in the freaking LaBalls. We know Nick Wright. These guys are writers too. Don't get it twisted.
Nick Wright gets to vote for who the MVP is. He has that kind of pull.
Writers get to vote. As long as you have accreditation that you are a writer, you get to vote. Yes, the nerd-ass gonzo-looking Nick Wright gets to vote. Yeah. These are the people that are saying that LeBron James should go.
Yeah. Oh, Aaron Jones. Where's Jason Kidd's MVP? I remember Jason Kidd had that remarkable year. What that man MVP? Jason Kidd averaged multiple double-digit assists. And that year where he brought the Nets to the finals. That was an MVP-like season. Duncan got it, but I thought Jason Kidd deserved that MVP that year for what he did with that team. Listen, man, it's a lot of guys that got looked over for that award, but yet LeBron got 4 of those things. And some of those years, that man didn't deserve that award because he was with Dwayne Wade. How the hell did they give his ass that award when he's teamed up playing with D-Wade and Chris Bosh? But yet, when like you mentioned before, Kevin Durant goes and teams up with Curry, you ain't getting dog. You're not in the running for MVP. You not. None of y'all. No, we're not voting for none of you guys because you guys are Voltron. So LeBron wasn't a Voltron when he was playing on the Heat. Don't make no sense to me, man. This guy man get an MVP award playing on the Miami Heat. It's ridiculous, man. And they're trying to give him another one, and he's got Anthony Davis, a guy that leads that team on 4 statistical categories.
Yep.
It's mind-boggling to me.
And here's the thing. LeBron is averaging 10.6 assists. Boop the fuck you do. Matter of fact, why aren't you averaging 20 assists? You playing with Anthony Davis. As a matter of fact, you underperforming. You're supposed to give me 20 of them damn things if you playing with Anthony Davis. Could you imagine if Magic Johnson had Anthony Davis? Magic Johnson will average 20 assists. So this is what I'm talking about when I say love overrated. Could you imagine if Kobe Bryant said, I'm going to lock in and focus on assists? You remember that year when Kobe went on the zone for like 30, 40 plus games? Kobe was averaging damn near 15 assists. And you want me to be impressed by 10.6 assists? Get the fuck out of here with that, man. This is the stuff that I'm talking about, man. Everything to propagate and bring up LeBron. Aren't you guys sick and tired of the LBJ Riders media ship? All you guys been hearing about today is LeBron. LeBron. Every single way that you can turn. As if Anthony Davis did not secure the victory. And then here's the thing that got me laughing, because I want you to touch on this one. Stephen A. Smith turned around and said that the Lakers crushed the Clippers. What was the score?
Clippers lost by 2 points. How did they crush?
How is that a crush? You see what I'm talking about? This is what the media is telling you. They crushed the Clippers. Do you guys know what a crush is? A crush is a minimum variation of a 20-point win. You got to win by 20 points to crush somebody. 15 don't do it. 10 don't do it. You got to win by 20 points. That's a blowout. That's a crush. You won by 2 points and you crushed the Clippers? I told y'all, man. That's why I had to take my pick and fundamentally change. Because you guys have to understand how this prediction king strikes again. And the prediction king strikes again style works. It has to work phonetically with the situation that's in front of it. At that time, last time before the COVID-19, the Clippers were peaking right with the prediction. They were dangerous. Every other team in the NBA was peaking. And if you guys saw, the Los Angeles Lakers were reeling. Let me say it again, because that one needs to marinate the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. So rehear me and rehear me. Well, the Los Angeles Lakers were reeling and everybody else was upsurging. Then COVID-19 happened. All of these people got out of basketball shape. You remember Hino's Sport was telling you guys these people were sloppy? And we were saying that these guys really wasn't working out. They weren't in shape. Look at the game. Look how sloppy the game was.
The turnovers. Kawhi, he looked sloppy, man. Like he wasn't assertive.
So why did the Los Angeles Lakers look like the least sloppy team? Because out of everybody else, they were training. He was telling you all this stuff. Y'all wasn't listening. If you either you wasn't listening or you wasn't paying attention. I have not stirred you guys wrong throughout the tenure of me being on my platform. I've always steered you guys in the right side of direction because I am the ultimate truth teller. So when you line yourself up with truth, you're always going to be on the right side of history. I've learned that a long time ago. When you line yourself up with the truth, although it's not the sexiest way of doing things, and it's the most controversial, and it does make you the most polarizing, it is always going to line you up on the right side of history. And as you guys can see, I'm almost always on the right side of history here. And what I saw in deducing the situation was that the Los Angeles Lakers were training in the offseason when everybody else wasn't training. LeBron James was keeping his ass in shape when Kawhi Leonard, you guys saw my video. I told you guys, clawrexic. Kawhi don't look the same, y'all. Don't even try to. Remember when I told y'all that? Oh, son, I remember. I love this game. That sister, got to give her credit. She was like, no, he knows, man. Kawhi was training, and I had to tell my sister, look at him. Did you see the claw last night? Did you see him in form? No. The only person that was in form was LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They still look kind of crispy. They weren't in full basketball shape, but they damn sure was in better shape than everybody else because the rules are different for LeBron. This is not about me picking LeBron because I'm picking LeBron. See, the thing with me, and you guys have to understand this, is I always line myself up on the most commonest sense. Common sense is not common, y'all. Everybody don't have common sense. I will even go as far as to pick a LeBron when I see the stacks and the cards tell me that that's who's going to win. It's not that I want to pick LeBron because I like LeBron. I'm the biggest person on YouTube that keeps the proverbial foot on LeBron's neck. Nobody keep their foot on the neck on LeBron more than me. Nobody can boast that. And nobody will ever be able to boast that. But I can already see the proverbial writing on the wall. And what I see is that LeBron James is set to win this thing because everything is lined in his favor. It's ridiculous. How do you have Anthony Davis perform the way that he performed last night and the attention is all on LeBron James? This is ridiculous. And you guys think this is the end of it? No, it's going to get worse. Because now what's happening, Richie Rich, they're all in a bubble. And you know what's going to happen? And I want you to touch on this. You're going to have other NBA players that are going to be repulsed by all the attention that LeBron is getting. See, other NBA players are not used to this because they all are in their own state. Remember, every NBA team has their own broadcasting network. Am I wrong when I say that? The Miami Heat, don't they have their own broadcasting network? So when the team is being covered, that player is being covered based on what that broadcasting network is talking about. So if it's a star player like a Jimmy Butler or it's a star player like a James Harden, they're being covered in their respective broadcasting in their state. Now all of that gets overshadowed by who? Because they're all in one cesspool. LeBron James. Do you not think these NBA players are going to get sick and tired of that eventually? So I want your take on that because Kevin Durant opened a can of worms when he said this is a toxic as fuck you know what environment. And then when he opened that can of worms, all of these other NBA players were sitting there was like they kept their hands up like this as if they didn't want to accept it. But look what's going on right now. We have a cesspool situation in an NBA bubble where one player is getting all of the attention put on him. What do you think these NBA players are going to do?
They're gonna speak up on it, man, like Kevin Durant did. I'm glad you brought up KD, man, because this is what KD was talking about. You know, it's not that KD is jealous of LeBron James. It's just from outside point of view, man. When we looking at talking about the media, they're supposed to be as unbiased as ever, man. They're supposed to look at the other players like in the era of Jordan. Jordan dominated, man, but we still knew who those other guys were. Am I right or am I wrong? We knew who the competition was. And that's what I liked about that era, man. We knew Karl Malone, we knew John Stockton, we knew Charles Barkley. We knew all those guys. All those guys were respected. Yeah, they didn't win, but they were respected, and they were great competitors. They pushed Jordan, man, and he was able to win. He was able to dominate those guys. Patrick Ewing, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, you know, all those dudes. Clyde Drexler, you know, Magic Johnson won his titles, but Jordan won his first title on Magic Johnson's dime. So you know what I'm trying to say, man. In Kobe's time, T-Mac was a well-respected scorer. Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki, all these guys were respected. We knew who these guys were. Those are the guys from Allen Iverson. These are the guys from Kobe's time. You know, and when he was playing. LeBron's era comes in, man. You know, D Wade gets disrespected. Carmelo Anthony gets disrespected. Chris Bosh gets disrespected. All these guys from LeBron's era, man, are afterthought. They get disrespected, man. And even these guys in the newer generation, they're getting disrespected. LeBron's time is still being put over their time. And listen, I'm not. If I was playing in the league, I'm not a jealous guy. But if I'm doing big things in the league, man, and all they talking about is LeBron James, man, I'm gonna speak up about it. I'm like, hey, yo, I'm balling out of control over here, man. Y'all need this guy. This guy got 1 foot out, or he got 2 foot out. I need to start paying attention to me and these other dudes that's doing their thing in this league. I'm gonna talk about it, man. I'm gonna go to Adam Silver. I'm gonna be like, listen, man, I'm not putting all this work in the off season to not be paid attention to. You know what I'm saying? It's not about being jealous, man. But listen, you got a brand. This is the era of branding now. All these guys, they want their brand to be pushed to the next level, and it can't be pushed if this guy is blocking the lanes for you to not be able to grow your brand, man. It don't make no sense. So I see why KD said what he said. The media, man, the media is a big part of these guys' brands being pushed. If they're not paying attention to these dudes, they keep focusing on this dude that's lost 6 times in the finals. Keep stacking the deck whenever he sees whenever he's on a ship that's about to sink. He goes to a new ship, and he keeps showing how uncompetitive he is in this game. You know what I'm saying? They keep focusing on a dude like this, and you over there, you one of these ballers trying to do it right. You trying to win the right way, the organic way, and they're not on that wave no more. They're on that wave. Oh, let's see where LeBron is going next. Oh, okay, all right. His 4 years is up. Where's LeBron going next? That's how the media is. It's all about the next move. That's what it's turned into, man. It's sickening. Guys don't want to stay on one franchise anymore. I got an issue. I'm a competitive dude. I like seeing a dude dish it out. This is why I respected Kobe, man. And that was tight what Kobe said when he played his last game. He dropped 60 on the Utah Jazz. When he addressed the fans, he said the best moments out of everything was I never ran. I never ran. When we lost, when we were in those moments when we lost, I never ran. We stuck through it together, and we were able to overcome the situation. That's how Kobe always viewed it. Like he goes and he works harder on his craft so that he can try to overcome the situation, overcome the obstacle. These guys nowadays, man, the next situation, we're gonna jump to the next ship. That's what LeBron's all about, man. And they're paying attention to it.
About Kobe, you said something about Kobe that the audience needs to hear that again. Dog. KD24. What you say about KD24?
Kobe he's always working on his craft. Like, let's say the situation with the Spurs. You remember when Bruce Bowens was able to make that time when Kobe cried? Bruce Bowens, man, he did an excellent job on Kobe, man. And that was the year they beat the Lakers. He was going through his situation. The year where they beat the Lakers, they knocked the Lakers out of the playoffs. That was the year the Spurs won.
Yep.
And Kobe, you saw the tears run down his eyes. He felt a certain type of way.
He made him cry. It was a cry.
It was a cry of anger, man. Like, because these guys, a guy like that, man, he works exceptionally hard on his craft. So when they lose, man, they feel it because it's like any of us being pushing ourselves in a passion, something with passion, and we fail. We're gonna feel it, man, emotionally, and that's how it is to him. At the time, he cried. The Spurs beat the Lakers. Kobe came back, and they were able to beat the Spurs. He said he was going to go back and push himself to exhaustion. He's going to work so hard on his craft, he's going to wear himself out. That's how Kobe is, man.
Yeah.
And that's what he was all about. He goes into the lab. He works extremely hard to overcome an obstacle.
Yeah.
But that's not what these players are about nowadays. These guys are on to the next wave. When they fail, when they can't overcome a failure, they look, man, for the next best thing, man, to get on that wave to overcome the obstacle. These players aren't about competing nowadays. And it's all being led by LeBron James. And he's being celebrated because of it.
You just activated some good. You activated some good.
Hey, man, I gotta tell her how it is. You know how it is, bro.
Hey, this right now, this level of talk that we getting on right now, we simmering up, we heating up right now. Listen, man, this was exactly what happened with Michael Jordan in The Last Dance. When the Orlando Magic whooped up the Chicago Bulls, Horace Grant was celebrating on the damn basketball court. This is why I don't respect Isaiah Thomas. And this is why they respect Larry Bird. Because there's a thing in basketball called sportsmanship. Michael Jordan sat there and absorbed that loss. Kobe Bryant sat there, absorbed that loss. Because when you absorb it, you know what happens? It forces you to go into the lab. This is a true alpha extraordinaire type of situation, man. This is true alpha economics. You got to absorb it because it's through failures that success is obtained, man. Let me say it again. It's through failures that success is obtained. And you know what Jordan did? Right after the game, not even the next day, he looked at Tim Grover, grabbed his damn shirt. Hey, we're going into the fucking lab. Jordan was checking up shots at the end of that game, bro, because he couldn't stand at the fact that he was not conditioned enough. See, and I want to make this very clear. The Orlando Magic beat the Chicago Bulls, but they beat the Chicago Bulls because Jordan didn't have his legs up on him. He wasn't conditioned enough. They won fair and square, but Jordan was still working his ass back in fucking shape. The man was off of basketball for 2 years. But what happened is he said, no excuses. I'm going into the lab. Right after that game, Jordan sweat his ass off so that the very next year, he can go in there and make the Orlando Magic bend the proverbial knee. This is what true alphas do, man. They got to make you bend the damn knee. And what happened to the Orlando Magic? They swept him. Jordan is the master of sweeps. This is what he did to Isaiah Thomas. Thank you, Onetta. MJ was forced to humble and shake Zeke's, and he did it like a man. Damn right he did. This is why I lost respect for Isaiah Thomas. Because Isaiah Thomas didn't take his ass whooping like a man. You're supposed to take your ass whooping like a man. When you get your ass whooped, you take it like a man. That's what you're supposed to do at its truest and its most properest levels. So I don't also respect Larry Bird. So when people bring up Larry Bird to try to basically feed their argument with Isaiah Thomas, I don't respect nobody that do that shit. Because when I get my ass whooped on the basketball court, when we get our ass whooped on the basketball court, what we do, Richie Rich? We sit right there and we take it. But we right there looking at the competitor saying, hey, y'all don't know what y'all just did, bruh. We shake their hand, we give them props, but we look at each other and we like, hey, these motherfuckers don't know what they doing. And what we do right there, after these dudes done ran us off the basketball court, me and you right there training with each other one-on-one. These dudes looking at us like, didn't we just run 5 hours of basketball? Me and you going another 2 hours training, because you know what we said, we can't get our asses whooped no more. We the masters of 7-0 shutout. We can't be losing. Heck nah. We right there sweating right after the damn game. That's what people don't understand at basketball at the highest levels. It's about putting in the work. I remember me, Richie Rich, and Big Dave, man, we would sweat because we could not lose. Losing was not in our vocabulary. And if we lost, guess what? The next time when we play your asses, we're beating you 3 times as much. That's what you saw with Michael Jordan. That's what you saw with Kobe Bryant. When he lost to Bruce Bowen the way he did, it ignited this fire in him. So when you saw Kobe Bryant crying, this wasn't a cry because he was mad and he was sad. It was a cry because Kobe was like, damn it, man. I just felt that I didn't do enough. That's why he cried. Because he was thinking about all of the little, the free throw shot that could have went in. Damn, the little nuances if I could have just went ahead and do what I had to do. Damn, if I could have just turned around and do this and do that, man. He was thinking about that. Those fadeaways he missed. And he said it's not going to happen again. What happened when he played Bruce Bowen the next time? Made him look like a red-headed stepchild. He dunked on Tim Duncan so much. That was the year when they said Tim Duncan was the MVP. And Kobe said MVP that. Didn't Kobe say that? They put a mic on Kobe's face in the podium. And he said, do you feel that Tim Duncan is more deserving of the MVP than you that year? That was the year they robbed Kobe of the MVP, by the way. Kobe was like, oh, y'all gave it to him? Okay. And then what happened to Tim Duncan in that game? He dunked on Tim Duncan so many times. And then at the end of the game, they asked him, when they finished the San Antonio Spurs and sent him packing, he said MVP that. The same thing he told Mark Cuban when Mark Cuban said they should luxury tax Kobe. Kobe went in there and dropped how many damn points on the Dallas Mavericks? And what did he say? Luxury tax that. This is what guys that are motivated at this highest level do. Talking about this stuff gives me goosebumps, man. Because you guys don't understand this competitiveness, though. I understand it because I'm a competitor extraordinaire. Richie Rich will tell you that shit. On the basketball court, I will fight with my own blood if I have to, because I just feel like if we're not maximizing our potential, we're not doing what we're supposed to out there on the basketball court, I will do the weirdest things. I will get in your damn face. If I see a rock, I'll literally throw it at you. That's how competitive I am. I ain't about losing. And I can't stand when somebody laugh in my damn face and tell me they won over me. Heck, damn, nah. We're running that shit back. That's what competitiveness is all about. This is why a Michael Jordan and a Kobe Bryant are my favorite basketball players. This is why I stand behind that game. Because that game is 11 NBA championship certified, y'all. Let me say it again. It's 11 NBA championship certified. It's the greatest game in basketball. Because you know why it's the greatest game in basketball? Because their games have mastered the art of basketball. Y'all didn't catch what I said. There's a reason why Dwayne Wade called them the OGs. See, there's a terminology in the basketball fraternity. If you play basketball at whatever level, you know what I'm talking about. When you hear basketball players are called OGs, that's because they mastered the game. Michael Jordan was the originator. Kobe Bryant was the freaking remix, y'all. These guys mastered the game of basketball. And you saw in The Last Dance. Kobe Bryant, this right here took my level of respect for Kobe and it just eased it to the next level, though. They asked Kobe, so you against Michael Jordan, if you guys play one-on-one, that's when I knew the student never. See, and that's what Kobe Bryant understands, the 48 law of power. The student never outshines the master. That's one of the 48 laws of power, y'all. The student is never supposed to outshine the master. And they asked Kobe Bryant on a game of one-on-one against Michael Jordan. Listen, when I hear that, that's disrespectful, y'all. Because everything that's this dude, everything that I am is from this dude. That's what Kobe said. That came out of Kobe's mouth. See, when something comes out of somebody's mouth, you have no choice but to fall your ass in line and accept it. I don't give a fuck who you are. And I'm going to just say that. That I've always had that mindset. When it comes out of the GOAT's mouth, I don't care how you try to phrase it. I don't care how you try to remix it. When something is literal, you have to go precept upon precept and line upon line with what they said. And Kobe Bryant out of his mouth said, what y'all see from me is that I got it from that dude. So don't ever disrespect and talk about us playing one-on-one. That shit gave me so much goosebumps because it showed not only the level of respect that an MJ and a Kobe had, it also showed you their Siamese twin relationship. It showed you their symbiotic relationship on how they mastered the game and how they were OGs of the game of basketball, y'all, and how they dominated this thing. It also showcased to you their level of relationship and how close it was, how they had their true alpha powwows, how they always talked about the game of basketball. How Kobe, every time he was trying to surge, do you guys know this? And I'm going to tell you guys this because I studied the MJ and the Kobe game to a level. I just have no competitors when it comes to this shit, bro. And when I study these guys' games, I know these guys' games. Kobe, when it comes to the NBA Finals, used to always seek advice from Jordan, dog. And I used to like that. I'd be on the phone with MJ talking about, man, how do you handle this situation? How do you handle that situation? This is what greatness personification is all about. This is what it's all about, trying to take yourself to the next level. Because MJ already did it. He's the originator. So Kobe being the remix that comes behind him has to do that. That's just like He Knows His Sport and He Knows His Sports platform. It's been consistently successful on YouTube. So anybody that's been an underling of mine, you want to continue to be successful on your end, keep seeking the fucking advice. You got to keep seeking advice. Because when you see somebody's consistent and they consistently are doing something and it's making sense, keep following your ass up and consistently seeking the advice on how that shit works. Because that person is doing something right that keeps having people attentive to them. It's something there that's making sense. So you got to keep wanting to be that swagger jacker. You got to keep wanting to be that person that wants swagger jack. That's what I do. When I see somebody that I look up to, I'm keep going in there. I got a swagger jack. I got to keep trying to take. That's what greatness is all about. It's not about being complacent. It's about always taking yourself to the next level. And that's what Kobe Bryant did. And that's what made me appreciate Kobe Bryant's game. Because Kobe Bryant realized in the shortcomings that he had, he needed MJ to buffer those shortcomings. Because one of Kobe Bryant's shortcomings was this. Kobe Bryant just took all kinds of shots. And I've told this. I've even had alpha powwows about this shit. That's Kobe's shortcomings. It's his one weakness. Kobe will take a shot anywhere. Yeah, that's his strength, but it's also his weakness. And you know who used to go seek advice from to learn on how to deal with that? MJ. And it only made sense for him to seek that advice from MJ because MJ is all about highest percentage basketball shot. It showcased it in his field goal percentage. That year that Kobe Bryant went and seeked MJ's advice, you know he shot 47% from the field that year? That year, because Phil Jackson got on Kobe and said, Kobe, your field goal percentage is lower because you're just taking shots everywhere. And Kobe said, okay, Phil. He went and talked to MJ. MJ said, look, man, you're going to have to start taking shots 16 feet and in. See, there's a lot of shit you people don't know. I got to school y'all motherfuckers. Because I told you, I know this MJ and Kobe game better than anybody. And I say anybody. And the bottom line was 16 feet and in, Kobe had to go to the MJ school of how to learn how to be a higher percentage shooter. And he scored 47% from the field in Vino stage. 35 years old. This man shot 47% from the field because he humbled himself, listened to the correction that Phil gave him, but then also turned around and seek the master. And then the master gave the approval, and then hence what happened? Field goal percentage shot up to 47%. This is what greatness is all about. Always saying to yourself, I always need to improve because no one is above correction. No one is above reproach. No one is above anything. I'm not above none of that. You always got to be reinventing yourself. You always got to be recreating yourself. And you always got to be seeking advice from those you know that have been there and done that. And that's what Kobe did with MJ. And that's right there. If you want to know what made me appreciate Kobe more than anything, it was that. LeBron, on the other hand, tells you, because we're bringing it right back to LeBron, that Michael Jordan was his greatest player of all time. That Michael Jordan was his favorite basketball player. This is what LeBron told you. And if that is true, y'all, right, then why didn't you do what Kobe Bryant did? Why didn't you seek MJ's advice 24/7? When you beat the Detroit Pistons the way that you did, you knew you was going to fold like a freaking La Pretzel against the San Antonio Spurs. And you know what they tell us about that series, Richie Rich? You know what they tell us? They tell us that LeBron James was just a baby. The excuses, man. This is why Max Kellerman said, let the excuses begin. Because even Max Kellerman was like, I'm sick and tired of defending this cat, man. He got sick and tired of it. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm going to say it again. He got sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's what he did. And Max Kellerman was just like, I can't defend this guy no more. That year that LeBron James went and trained with Akeem Olajuwon, what happened to all of those foot fadeaways? What happened to all the foot moves? He didn't use that shit. So you mean to tell me you paid Akeem Olajuwon all that money to go learn those moves and you don't use it? Kobe Bryant studied up under Akeem Olajuwon and he used that move for the rest of his damn career, especially when he started losing his athleticism. This is what greatness is all about. Learning from those who already were there before you, greats that already showed you greatness before you, taking what they did and enhancing it and amplifying it in your own way. That's what greatness is all about. This is what a Kobe Bryant did. But why didn't LeBron James do that? That's a fundamental problem, y'all. That's a fundamental issue. And Richie Rich, I really want you to run this back, man, because you started something here. Why didn't LeBron James take the time in his 16 to 17 years to basically say, MJ, I idolize you. You are my favorite basketball player. Let me fall my ass up under you. What was the issue with that? Why didn't he do that?
Well, I mean, this thing, if you can go deep into this stuff, man, it could be psychological. Where he didn't have he grew up in a home with a single mom, man. He didn't have a father,
Mhm.
so he's looking at things where he's gonna do things his way. Where MJ had his father before his dad got killed, and then Kobe had his father showing him the game, bringing him up in the game. There was uh there was principles there that were built when under Kobe and his father, and to get about the game of basketball, and there were
Mhm.
principles built with Jordan and his father about life and all that type of stuff. And I'm pretty sure Jordan implemented that stuff in his game. So these guys were brought up a certain way where they followed a certain law or code. You know, you saw it. These guys are not going to cheat the game. But LeBron, man, LeBron don't care. He didn't have that father figure role, man, to teach him certain things and stuff like that, to where he looks at things and like they're supposed to be ordered. Like with LeBron, you look at his game, man. You look at his legacy. It's out of whack, man. Things are all over the place. You
Mhm.
know, that's what I look at, and that's what I look at. That's one of the main things I look at, and how he was brought up, man, coming up, because he doesn't follow the game like these guys have followed it. The
Right.
OGs. He's
Mhm.
he's trying. It's like he's trying to create. That's the thing with his fans. They always bring up, uh, man, why you hating on LeBron, man? Listen, I'm not hating on LeBron. Hate is a strong word. I don't know the
Mhm.
guy personally to hate on a guy like that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, this guy, uh, he's done things a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And he's taken on a different path. You remember when Pat Riley had that post conference the
Mhm.
year that they lost to the Spurs, and
Mhm.
he talked about LeBron James manning up and taking the challenge to re-sign with the Heat and run it back.
Mhm.
But LeBron James wasn't answering his calls. LeBron
Yep.
left. LeBron left this man, uh, uh, and he went back to Cleveland. He did Pat Riley like he did Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers, the first time he left. He didn't answer those guys' phone calls. He left those guys high and dry, because that's who LeBron is. When the going gets tough, LeBron gets going. That's his mo. He's not like Jordan. He's not like Kobe, where these guys look at challenges and they want to overcome those challenges. They get to a point where they hit a wall. You know what I'm saying? This is why that father figure role is very important, because your father teaches you, man, that you got to overcome challenges. You can't when you get to that wall and you hit that wall, man. You got to try to You don't go the other way. Try to jump over that wall, go through it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You can't be scared of failure. That's what LeBron is. LeBron is scared of failure, man.
Mhm.
And when he tastes it, he runs for something better. A situation where he puts himself in a situation where failure, he's gonna be able to beat the failure, but it comes in a situation where he put himself in a super safe situation. So
Mhm.
that's the way he can overcome the failure. He can't overcome the failure by playing with guys that he failed with. It's got to always be with a new set of guys who are better than the guys that he failed with. So
Facts.
so now he's with these better guys. He's not gonna fail because he's in a super safe situation.
Mhm.
Jordan and Kobe didn't view the game like that. Okay,
Mhm.
listen, we failed, we gonna run it back. We gonna win. We gonna get better. We gonna train. We gonna. It's like how he did with Paul Gasol when they lost to the Celtics.
Mhm.
Kobe could have whined. He could have been like, man, we need some changes on this team. We need to get better guys, a better core. We need another superstar on this team. What
Mhm.
did he do with Paul? You saw that the mind games, the psychological mind games he played with Paul to get Paul in line. When they went to the Olympics and they beat Spain in the Olympics, Kobe put his medal in his locker room.
Yep.
And Paul got pissed off about that. He's like, man, Kobe, stop playing with me, man. He's like, listen, I'm not playing with you, bro. You see, all that losing we was doing, now you done lost to us in these Olympics. Are you serious about trying to win? We going into this season. We lost to the Celtics. Your ass was soft. You was getting bullied, punked by KG.
I have the Hulk Hogan that one, dog. What did Kobe do to Bogus?
He played them mind games, them psychological games with him to turn him into a killer.
Yes.
And you saw it was a different tone Paul Gasol coming into that season. That man played with a kill streak. When he had Dwight Howard, man, I was like, Dwight Howard was beasted in the playoffs until he met up with the Lakers, and Paul Gasol was doing damage, man. I was like, damn, this is a different Paul Gasol, man. If this was a Paul Gasol that played against the Celtics and that year that they lost to the Celtics, the Lakers might have won that title. Because Paul Gasol was playing with a mean streak, man. I was like, this is a different Paul Gasol. Whatever Kobe did to this man, it worked. And you saw that the year after, they were in a tough series against the Celtics. Paul Gasol manned up and they were able to get over that obstacle, man. This is what makes these guys so great. They don't run from a situation. They overcome it. They work with who they got. They play with who they have. They don't try to change up the deck of cards for a new deck of cards.
Exactly.
And try to win with the new deck. They stay with the old deck and get it done with the old deck. That's what you can respect. That's what I respect to the core, man. When a guy could win with what he has. I'm not saying that these guys don't need help. All guys need. You're gonna need some good pieces on the team. We all know that.
Yep.
You can't win with scrubs now. I'm not saying you if you with scrubs, you're gonna win. It's hard. Kobe tried to do that with Smush Parker, Chris Mims, those Kwame Brown. Man, listen, those guys were terrible, man. He knows those, man. I was like, man, how is Kobe doing this stuff with these group of guys? Luke Walton, boy, those guys were utterly terrible, man. But Kobe was, man, Kobe was able to get it done. Jordan Farmar.
Kobe had to deal with Smooch Parker. He had to deal with Smooch Parker and fucking Kwame Brown. Don't get me started with what Kobe had to deal with.
I'm like, listen, I watched those games, man. I was like, how is Kobe getting it done with these group of guys? He was able to wheel those guys in the postseason.
Yes.
But it was remarkable that he was able to do what he was able to do with that roster.
Remember I told you? What did I tell you when I sent you that text? MJ made me cry, dog. That competitive juice in me made me cry when I saw MJ cry because I felt like I was crying.
Yeah. Seeing MJ cry touched me too.
When MJ talked about his competitive nature, he said, time out, man. I need a break. Because I never tell motherfuckers to do anything that I wouldn't be willing to do. And that's what people have to understand. That's he knows his sports model. And when I give people instructions, it's because I've already done it or I'm willing to fucking do it. And that's what people forget. And that's the problem with these types of leaders when you're talking about a Michael Jordan and a Kobe Bryant. And this is why people always have to nitpick. Because you know why these LBJ Rider media want to nitpick on these guys? Because they want to nitpick on the fact that these guys are pushing you to be your best. Yes, I do skullduggery. Yes, I am into that. But that's because I'm trying to maximize people at their best, regardless who that person is. I'm trying to push people to be their best. And a lot of times pushing you to be at your best is to make you uncomfortable. And I don't care who it is. That's just the way I roll. I like to make people uncomfortable. Because when you're uncomfortable, you're going to perform at your best. Just like I can take criticism, constructive criticism, and I can take this and I can take that, I'm going to dish it right back out. But what I notice with people is people like to be in their comfort zones. They don't want to get out of their comfort zones. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to be willing to do new things, and you got to be willing to do multifaceted things to take yourself to the next level. This is what a Michael Jordan did. This is what a Kobe Bryant did in their leadership. Go ahead, Richie Rich. I just wanted to say that real quick.
Well, I didn't really have many more to say, but to close, what I gotta say, man, is that's what separates these guys from LeBron James, man. LeBron, that father figure role that he didn't have in his life, uh, that you could clearly see that affected him, because you see the decisions that he's made, man, in his basketball career. It's like he doesn't want to overcome obstacles the right way. He overcomes them by trying to find a cheat code to overcome the obstacles. That's what he does. He overcomes them, but he's using a cheat code. Where's the? Do we respect that? I can't respect that, man. That's like me playing a video game that that's always giving me complications, and then I go online for the codes, and I get all the codes, and then I put them in. I finally beat the game. Listen, I ain't gonna feel right knowing that I done paid $60 for a game, and I had to use cheat codes to beat that game. Come on now, that's what LeBron has been doing. He's been fooling some of you casuals, man. That he's been doing the organic way, man. But he hasn't been doing it the organic way, bro. When you being called the so-called best player in the beginning of your prime, and you gotta go ring check. Listen, man, that's unheard of. That's never been done. That's why it was such a big deal. It's never been done before. We've never seen the so-called best player in the game have to go ring chase to win titles.
Mm-hmm.
Something is clearly wrong with LeBron James' psychological makeup.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done.
That's it. Well,
So
Anthony L got shot back out, and then we're gonna get him back in because the floor is his. Anthony L, the floor is yours, brother. But before you get ready to say what you got to say, let me just say this. The original Shea Show said this. Also, he knows his sport. Do you think that Kobe's Lakers team back in 2006 or something was worse than the LeBron Cavaliers team in 2007 and 2018? Yes or no? That's a question. Go ahead. Answer it, Richie Rich.
I thought he addressed that question to you.
I know he addressed it.
You want me to answer it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Kobe's team was worse, man, because at least LeBron James had veterans on his team. He had veterans like Eric Snow. That man been to a finals with Allen Iverson, man. This is why LeBron was able to get to a finals. He had savvy veterans, Drew Gooden, Jonas Ilgauskas, Larry Hughes. LeBron has some vets on that team, man. Guys that's played on other teams, and they've been playing in the postseason. Kobe had a band of misfits, man, on his team. Smush Parker, he's an undrafted player. Kwame Brown, who was that's the thing. Jordan was the greatest basketball player, but in terms of scouting, nah, man, Jordan don't got the eye, man.
Eddie George.
Eddie George. I mean,
we started though.
Listen, Chris Mim. Some of these guys were like they weren't. You were like, who are these guys? They were undrafted players. Kobe played with some guys, man. Kobe was stressed out playing with those dudes. Andrew Bynum, who was always hurt. He was supposed to be touted as the next greatest thing, but the kid could never stay healthy, man.
The Buss family was trying to replace Andrew Bynum with Kobe, which was hysterical in of itself.
Exactly. Kobe played with a harder obstacle trying to play with a roster like that. When you look at it, because it was young players, they weren't veterans, but it was young players that were very inconsistent.
Yep. Anthony L, man, talk to us, brother.
Hey, what's good? Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear, brother.
What's up? How you doing?
All right. Yeah. First of all, I just want to thank He Knows the Sport for letting me on the panel, for allowing me this opportunity to speak again on this platform, and salute to the panel and salute to the chat. And just real quick, I just wanted to say I appreciate He Knows the Sport for allowing allowing us to speak our minds and give our thoughts and opinions, without us having to worry about, our voices being muddled and filtered, and got to walk on eggshells when you when you speak in your mind about certain players and certain issues, because you go to some people's channels and they won't let you speak your mind the way you want. They want robots. But I appreciate the fact that you allow us to come in and be ourselves and laugh and crack jokes here and there, and just really speak our mind and speak truth about what's going on. See, a lot of times people just don't like truth. They run from the truth. They hate the truth, but see, that lets you know that, okay, it must be something, on point to what I'm saying, because if somebody is getting easily triggered by the truth, then then that's exposing something, because there's no reason for anybody to be easily triggered by the truth, if it didn't apply. You understand what I'm saying? So I just appreciate the fact that you have this platform open and we could just come in, chop it up, and speak our minds. But what's the question and what's the current topic right now?
Man, we done delved in from LeBron being the all talked about as if Anthony Davis didn't exist, from the game last night to us talking about the difference between what a Michael Jordan and a Kobe Bryant was like as opposed to LeBron James. Why is the media making everything LeBron oriented? LeBron James's ego not allowing himself to learn from the previous NBA greats like a Kobe Bryant did with Michael Jordan. And then we also talked about how LeBron James is basically afraid of losing. And when he loses, he has to now create a new cheat code in order for him to win.
Well, I think in terms of all the credit that's being given to LeBron right now, it's pretty much expected. I mean, is anybody here surprised that I said this on Lewis channel last night when I was on the show? I said, watch the next morning, the media not gonna give Anthony Davis no credit for what he did last night. And it's an easy prediction. It's an easy prediction because the media is so predictable. But you know what though, on the flip side, Anthony Davis is learning the hard way. I don't feel sorry for Anthony Davis. I mean, if you look at it on one end, you knew what Rich Paul and LeBron was about when they came to New Orleans to recruit you, and you let them manipulate your mind, you let them take control over your choices and your decisions and manipulate your decisions. And you went there thinking that, it was going to be an opportunity for you to take over a team to be the future, because he is the younger player. He is the one that is still in the middle of his prime. LeBron is on his way out of his prime, but Anthony Davis is still in the middle of his prime. But yet they're talking about LeBron as if Anthony Davis ain't the most dominant big man in the NBA when he's healthy. You understand what I'm saying? But if you Anthony Davis, you should have already predicted that in advance, because LeBron had already shown his track record for the 15 years before he came to the Lakers until the time he started recruiting Anthony Davis. He knew what LeBron was about. He knew what clutch sports was about, So Anthony Davis just gonna have to suck it up right now, But what I am concerned about is that, if the Lakers do win the championship, and I could see Anthony Davis winning Finals MVP. Now, going back to 2011, when Dwayne Wade was on his way to winning Finals MVP, because if you look at if you look at that series, the way Dwayne Wade was playing, he was on his way to the Finals MVP. And I don't know if Anthony Davis winning the Finals MVP is going to sit well with everything that LeBron is trying to accomplish, with him being 35 years old and averaging his numbers and having all this comparison with Jordan. I mean, he knows that the whole comparison with Jordan at the age of 35 when they won championships, at the age of 25, at the age of 35, is it's not it's gonna work against LeBron, because if Anthony Davis wins Finals MVP, then what's the comparison? There's gonna be no reason to compare LeBron's championship at the age of 35 when you didn't even win Finals MVP. What is we talking about here? I mean, if Giannis win a league MVP and Anthony Davis end up winning Finals MVP, then what did LeBron? What did he prove? He proved that he won the championship as the second man. So what is he gonna do this time? Blow the championship because he see Anthony Davis is on his way to winning Finals MVP? Because if you look at what Anthony Davis did, you compare what he did last night to what LeBron did. I mean, LeBron didn't play all that well until like the last few minutes of the game, you know. And if you listening to the media take on it, you would have thought LeBron had a great game the whole entire game, you know. But it's just part of that whole narcissism that comes with LeBron, you know. And it's always been that way. And my issue is that, because I get into a lot of debates. Well, I try not to get into a lot of debates because some of these people on YouTube, they're not even worth my time even trying to argue with them. But even then, it's like some of these guys can't even formulate a good argument. I mean, all they say is that you a hater. That's all you hear is, oh, you're a LeBron hater. I said, explain to me why. Because I see more hate coming from LeBron's group than anywhere else. I mean, he's the one sending Kendrick Perkins, on ESPN. He's on every single show, morning, noon, and night, and he disparages other players around the league. And what gets me is that whenever you say something critical about LeBron, it's like, oh, you a hater. Why you putting a black man down? Or we acting like some crabs in a bucket. But wait a minute, ain't there other black players in the league? And aren't there other black superstars in the league that constantly get dissed and disrespected and talked about on a constant? We see Perkins go after all these other black superstars, right? Nobody call him out on that, except for Durant. Durant calls him a sellout, and then he gets up there with crocodile tears, acting like, "Wait a minute, what did I do?" You know what I mean? But you say something about LeBron, it's like, "Oh, you a coon, and why are you putting the black man down? Is blah 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 blah." Wait a minute, you can't have it both ways. You can't attack Kawhi Leonard, Giannis, and Curry and Durant and all these other superstars, and that's cool, right? That's okay, right? But soon as you say something about LeBron, oh man, you talk about you can't be talking about the king like that, man. LeBron do a lot of good things for the community. I'm saying, what does that have to do with what he's doing on the court? You understand what I'm saying? It's like it's off the court, what he does in the community. That's good. But we're talking about what he does on the court. We're talking about how he interacts with his teammates. We're talking about how he interacts with his coaches. We're talking about how he sends people out within the media to do his dirty work for him. Because we know where the source is coming from. We know every single time. Come on now. We know, everybody know good and well Perkins didn't go to school to be no TV analyst. I mean, let's keep it real. Like, you mean to tell me, out of all the great role players in the NBA, out of all the great future Hall of Fame legends, they chose Perkins? And it's like, what am I missing here? Like, what am I missing here? It's just the whole narrative is about pumping LeBron up to bring other people down. It's like Kyrie. I mean, Perkins was the first one to blast Kyrie when he was the one trying to stand up on behalf of the players, talking about, I need to see more. Soon as Kyrie dropped $1.5 million towards the WNBA, all I hear is crickets. You don't hear nothing coming from Perkins now. And see all this extra stuff that Kyrie is doing, for the WNBA players and the community and all the awareness that he's been raising. oh, they don't want to talk about his consistency since he
Mhm.
decided to stand up and speak up on behalf of the players and say, you know what, I stand with you. If you don't want to go to the bubble, I stand with you. If you want to go, I stand with you too. He's been consistent, and he's still consistent, and
Mhm.
he's putting his money where his mouth is. And
Mhm.
all I hear is crickets.
Yep.
So you can't have it both ways. You can't attack other players around the league and talk about what you think they not doing, and then
Mhm.
when they start doing something, all of a sudden you quiet.
Yep.
But as soon as LeBron, he speaks up or he sends out a tweet, it's oh my gosh, it's the greatest thing. The king has spoken. Oh, we gotta we I want to get his opinion about it. Oh my gosh, he's so conscious. Oh my gosh, he's so in tune with what's going on,
Woo.
as far as social injustice. But you got
Woo.
guys that's actually putting in work on
Mhm.
and off the court, and they're not even getting the recognition.
Right.
So it's like, everything is just being set up, and it's like all the pressure right now, the media is putting extra unnecessary pressure on the Lakers that I don't know if they're going to be able to live up to the rest of these playoffs. Because you got to remember, they're already missing two of their key veterans, Avery
Yep.
Bradley and Rondo. And I have a
Yep.
feeling that they're going to do what they usually do, put all of their energy in trying to beat the Clippers, and then come out and lose to a mediocre team, because that
Yep.
always happens with the Lakers. They come
Yep.
out and they get they win a big marquee game, by a couple points, close game, and then they come out the next game like they don't even like they forgot how to play basketball. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you know, I need to see more, because the media is celebrating this like this was the championship. This is just the first
Mhm.
game back. We still got a lot more basketball left, a lot more games, and I want to see how they're able to keep this going. As far as what Anthony Davis is doing, I mean, we already knew what type of player he is. He's a superstar, he's a beast,
Mhm.
but ain't you already know playing with LeBron, you're never gonna get that credit,
Exactly.
and Anthony Davis, he should know that. So, that's just something that internally he's just gonna have to accept, and he's just gonna have to deal with until he gets that opportunity to leave and go to New York or go to Chicago or go to another team. But right now, it is what it is. He made his decision. So when you
Mhm.
make your decision, when you make your bed, you just gotta lie in it, because you already knew what this whole pandemonium was about when it comes to
Mhm.
LeBron and that toxic environment. But
Exactly.
that's pretty much all to say on that right now. Um, everybody is doing. I was actually surprised by the little bit I seen from Deion Waiters and what he was able to bring and produce. Now I don't know how consistently and how long that's gonna last, but the competition, there's still other teams out there, with Denver, with Jokic. He got slimmer during this time off. The
Mhm.
Houston Rockets, they gonna be there, So it's not gonna just end with just beating the Clippers one
Mhm.
time, without Montrezl Harrell, without Lou Williams, because we don't make excuses over here because Lakers is missing guys too. But what I'm saying is that if the Lakers want to beat the Clippers at full strength, which they will be at, you know, during the time that it matters and during the time where it counts in the playoffs, they will be at full strength. And the way they played the Clippers
Mhm.
last night, playing like that, you're not going to beat the Clippers at full strength playing like that. So it's really it ain't really that much to take away from that game last night and to be celebrating, because they still got a lot of work to do, you know. And that's all I got to say right now. I'm gonna go ahead and pass the mic over.
Yeah. Okay, man. That's what I'm saying. Hey, Richie Rich, double back, man. You got anything else you want to say?
Yeah, it's good to have you back, man.
Hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. that's what it's gonna be like for Anthony Davis, man. Just gonna reiterate on that point. He made that decision to come over here, even when Kevin Durant and other guys already dropped hints of what it was like playing alongside LeBron. Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, Chris Bosh, and Wade, how he did Wade dirty multiple times. Uh, this man still decided that he was going to join LeBron's agency uh, and have his homeboy be his agent and go team up with him in LA. But it might be a situation he regrets, especially if the Lakers lose. If they don't win this bubble now, what happens next season? You allow these other Western teams to gain ground. Golden State Warriors, not saying that they're going to be a perennial contender, but they're going to be back competing. Curry and Clay going to be back in there, and they got assets. You best believe they're going to make some moves. That's another Western Conference team you're going to have to deal with. Denver Nuggets, man, got some pieces. You see that kid, Bo? That kid look like he got some talent, man. And this, that's exactly. They got some players on that Denver Nuggets team that's gonna get better. The Clippers gonna make moves. They're gonna get better. You know what I'm saying? They're a championship contender this season. They're gonna continue to be a championship contender. Houston, who knows what they're gonna do to put around James Harden or Russell Westbrook? They're gonna Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban know he got something in Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. He's only gonna add to that. And another Western Conference team might emerge, man, and might be a serious threat. So if you don't win this bubble, man, there's no guarantee that you're gonna win next season. You know what I'm saying? It's only gonna get harder. So Anthony Davis, and plus they got a decision they're gonna have to make. You see their bad relationship with China. China is not partnered with the NBA anymore. So that's 10% of the salary cap. They make up 10% of that salary cap. So that salary cap is going to be affected. It's going to affect every team, but mainly it's going to affect a contending team like the Lakers. That move they may have probably wanted to make next year, they probably might not be able to make it because they don't have enough money in their salary cap to go after a valuable guy that they might need to help them go over the top if they don't win this title this year. It's only going to get harder, man. LeBron's only going to get older. He's not going to continue to maintain this type of durability. He's not going to this vitality that he has. Father time eventually creeps in and comes, man. That's how it is. Just like when that time when it came for Kobe, man, I was shocked, but it came when Kobe popped the Achilles. It comes, man, at the time you least expect, but it comes, man. It knocks on everyone's door. Exactly. So we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see how this thing plays out. Anthony Davis, man, he's got a contract situation that he has to figure out next season. Is he gonna stay with the Lakers, or what is he gonna do? So them winning this year is very, very important. They have to win it because. Now, if they don't win it, I think Anthony Davis ponders on his future, man. He really looks into it. He doesn't just make a decision and sign long-term with the Lakers. Because now he has LeBron only has about one season left with this team. And when he's gone, can they guarantee bringing another superstar over here to pair with me? Because I've shown, I've shown if I'm the number one guy, if I have all the attention on me, I can't bring a team to the promised land. I'm gonna need another superstar alongside. In the last 6-7 years, the Lakers haven't shown that they could bring a superstar over to Los Angeles until they got LeBron. But LeBron is trying to use the Lakers, man, because he knows their history. He knows their storyline history. So he's trying to use that for his legacy. He's not really going there to just go there. He's trying to use the Lakers to improve his legacy, improve his future beyond. That's what this move is all about.
Exactly.
So Anthony Davis, he's got some thinking to do.
Hmm. Yeah, I just want to say this, man, because I gotta elaborate on this. Um, the bottom line is, hold on. Yeah, the bottom line is this, man, and this is the biggest picture, and people got to understand this. You have to look at Anthony Davis, and you have to also look at the pieces that's lined up when we think of basketball. And when we think of basketball, we have to look at how LeBron James is going to be the guy that's going to win the Finals MVP. I heard Anthony L. He brought up some great points, but LeBron is going to be the one to win the Finals MVP because we've seen Dwayne Wade get robbed when LeBron James decided that he was just not going to play and be at least a second wheel. We've seen Kyrie Irving get robbed when he single-handedly saved the Cleveland Cavaliers for razzling and dazzling Stephen Curry. We knew that was a bad matchup. That was the matchup that made that NBA Finals, along with the fact that Draymond Green got suspended for the B word, and along with the fact that Andrew Bogut went down because he was the rim protector, making sure that LeBron James don't just Mack truck guys and go to the basket. Then we also have to look at the fact of the Ray Allen situation. Ray Allen was robbed of the MVP. So Anthony Davis did all of this heavyweight lifting last night. And what we're talking about right now, y'all, is we're sitting here and we're talking about LeBron James and him kneeling. We're talking about LeBron James and his supposed defensive performance as if he didn't foul Paul George, as if he didn't hand check Kawhi Leonard. Come on, y'all thought this was illegal in today's game. This is what happened. And then they're talking about LeBron James and his supposed game-winning shot. This is what they've been talking about. So I hear Anthony L on that point. Everything else he said, Anthony L was 99.9% correct. But on that one, we slightly agree to disagree on that one because there's no way that LeBron is not going to win the NBA Finals MVP. There's no way. Because they're going to make sure that's when it's all said and done, Anthony Davis gets slided. And you know what I think is going to happen, Anthony L? Anthony Davis is going to learn what Chris Bosh and them learned. He's going to learn what Dwayne Wade and them learned. He's going to learn what Kyrie Irving and them learned. He's going to learn what Kevin Love and them learned. He's going to learn what everybody else that played with LeBron James learned. And I'm going to mention a player, and Richie Rich is going to know who I'm talking about. Point guard for the Miami Heat. The one that LeBron James used to shot all over the place. He moved his ass over to Memphis Grizzlies. Y'all know who I'm talking about? How LeBron used to embarrass that dude, and that dude used to sit there and make clutch baskets. Clutch baskets for the Miami Heat. Had clutch defensive performances for the Miami Heat. LeBron used to embarrass him in public, but he used to stand right back up to LeBron like, F you, who the hell are you? Udonis Haslem, I respect him too because Udonis Haslem used to check LeBron James too. They wasn't having that bullshit. Because
Mario
the bottom
Thomas.
line, yeah, I was getting to it. I was gonna mention Mario. I was gonna say Super Mario Brothers, but thank you for saying it. I'm glad you mentioned it because I was about to say Super Mario Brothers. But bottom line is, when you look at Mario Chalmers and you look at Udonis Haslem, these guys stood up. They did heavyweight lifting. Shane Battier, heavyweight lifting on a defensive performance. Do you know how many guys? Mike Miller, don't get me started. Anthony L, I hear you, brother. But I done seen this story, man. I saw it firsthand. Me and Richie Rich went to Miami Heat games, and we saw how they favored LeBron James. And we were like, heck no, man. That shit ain't happening. Dwayne Wade, if they could do this to Dwayne Wade, I'm sorry. Dwayne Wade at that time was considered on a higher food chain of a superstar than Anthony Davis ever will be. So Anthony Davis, I'm sorry to say this, Anthony L, he is LeBron's puppet, bruh. He is a puppet that's basically being puppeteered. LeBron knew what he was doing, and I got to say shout out to Lewis Sports Network because that's his phrase. See me? I like to get my credit, but I always give credit where credit is due because Lewis Sports Network was the one that authored that phrase, 2 for 20. I love that phrase. That's what LeBron James did. He pimped him on a 2 for damn 20 because he knew Anthony Davis was weak up here, man. He 27th law of power him. And truth be told, Anthony L., LeBron is strong arming and pimping Anthony Davis because he knows that Anthony Davis is going to be his puppet so that he can win all his awards. Look at what Anthony Davis just said recently. Oh, we won titles because of LeBron. And LeBron deserves the NBA MVP. You remember when he said that, Anthony L.? LeBron is deserving of the NBA MVP. Anthony L. is doing LeBron James bidding, and he don't even realize he's doing that. Because when you are the number 2 player on a team, your biggest thing as the number 2 player is for you to sit there and sometimes go against the number 1. That's why I respect this Scottie Pippen. Because sometimes Scottie Pippen just went against Michael Jordan. We saw this in The Last Dance. We saw when Jordan said, man, I ain't like what Scottie Pippen did. And I told Scottie Pippen that, but Scottie Pippen didn't care. Sometimes Scottie Pippen went against the grain. Sometimes number 2's got to go against number 1s. Exactly, Lewis Sports Network, 2 for 20 Applebee's special, man. That's your terminology, bro. You get all the credit. You pop your collar for that one because that one was a masterpiece. It's the truth. He pimped this guy off of 2 for 20. And when he pimped him off of that, this dude turned around and said, I'm going to be a willing part. Damn, you see? I was just about to say that. Thank you. I love this game. She always finished my sentence, though. He was a willing participant. I was just about to say that, though. He became a willing participant or a willing love participant, man. That's the bottom line. So we got to call a spade here, man. LeBron is going to win all of these thresholds. And you know why, Anthony L? Thank you. It is like watching Dark Knight. Let me tell you why he's going to win all of the thresholds. Because LeBron James is 35 years old, y'all. And you guys have to understand, they have to match his benchmarks with MJ's. He's already out of the GOAT talk because MJ made sure he dropped that Last Dance documentary. That's so fresh in modern day NBA mind because I heard young people, and I'm surprised. MJ is such a master, though, of getting that thing right back in your brain. I hear young folks saying, damn, man, that competitiveness right there, you can't get no better than that. So MJ did his job. He basically had to reinvite or reingratiate back into people's minds that he's the NBA GOAT. He already signed his seals and delivered that with the Last Dance documentary. So you know what the LBJ Riders media is going to do now? They're going to say that LeBron James, in Lakakamemi fashion, is the second greatest player of all time. Once he wins this NBA title, which he's going to be an abysmal 4 for 10, 40%, 10% away from the NBA pantheon of greatness, but they're going to run with this, y'all. And they're going to say, because he won his 4th title, now NBA and Nike could be satisfied. Now they can be justified in the $90 million they invested in this dude. They can be satisfied now. Because in order for you to be satisfied with that level of investment, you need minimum 4 titles. That's why you see Shaq was able to get the endorsements he got, because Shaq had 4 titles. See, when you reach 4 NBA titles and above, y'all do this research, man. This stuff I'm telling you can be quantified, calculated, and researched. Richie Rich know what I'm talking about. Lewis Sports Network know. Everything I say can always be backed up. When NBA players win 4 titles or more, they open themselves to a whole new brand of greatness in terms of marketability, in terms of sponsorship, and in terms of everything else that comes with it. And that's what happened with Shaquille O'Neal and above. Because they won 4 titles, they were able to open up their market. LeBron James winning a 4th title opens himself up to a whole new market. It's called the international market. If you guys remember, LeBron James wasn't getting the same level of respect in China. He wasn't getting the same level of respect in all these international markets. You know why? Because they looked at what he brought to the table and it wasn't enough. Because you have all of these other guys shacking up, that's 4 or more. See, in order for him to be justified, he needs a 4th title. And like Lewis said, LeBron is using the second greatest wing players of all time to further enhance his legacy instead of setting his own. That's facts. We've been saying that, Lewis. We've been saying that shit for months. We've been saying that for years. But here's the even bigger picture and the bigger story here. The bottom line is this, Richie Rich. LeBron James is setting himself up to be a guffafoat, the greatest finals failure of all time. Because I don't care that LeBron won 4 NBA titles. I'm going to tell everybody how many NBA titles he lost. It ain't about how many titles he won. It's about telling people how many titles he lost. Because like I told you guys before, I was dealing with a LeBron tar the other day, and the LeBron tar had the nerve to tell me. He had the nerve to tell me that 3 for 6 is 50%. I couldn't stop laughing when I said this to Richie Rich the other day. Lewis, man, I'm telling you, I'm not lying. The only mistake I made is I just didn't record this thing. That's the only reason why I'm slapping myself. The dude said the media told me, or LBJ Riders media told me that LeBron is 3 for 6, and that means 50%. And I had to explain to him, you see what they did? They messed your brain up. He has 6 NBA Finals losses. He has 3 NBA Finals wins. He's actually 3 for 9. They don't want to say 3 for 9 because they don't look good. So they got to say 3 for 6 because it looks sexier in your mind. This is how they delude your subconscious. Because if they say 3 for 9, even the most dumbest person could look at that and say, that don't look good. Unless it's baseball, because my boy Lewis covered baseball, so you know what I'm talking about. Unless it's baseball, a 33.3% average ain't good. It ain't freaking good. So they're not going to say 3 for 9. They have to say 3 for 6. That's the bottom line. And that's what we're dealing with here, man. And that's why we have to sit here and tell ourselves that something is wrong with this damn picture. So I said all of that, Richie Rich, and I said all of that in the panel. I said that to everyone because the bottom line is this is what we're dealing with, y'all. This is what we're dealing with. Ticket TV, what's up, homie? What's going on, man? This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a love foolery. We're dealing with a little nonsense. We're dealing with a little occlusion. We're dealing with a little whatever you want to call it, man. But bottom line is we have to sit here and tell ourselves that they're setting up the stack of the cards of decks so that LeBron James could win this NBA title, man. And it's sad because we have so many people in the media, and I'm talking about our version of the media, that's sitting here putting this information out that LeBron is not more than meets the eyes, man. But you guys sit here, and when I say you guys, I'm talking about LeBron tards. Y'all sit here and still don't get the message, man. It's as if they warped your brain for 16 to 17 plus years. This is getting sickening. It's getting tiring. And it's damn near getting a little annoying. And I can see why it's gotten to a point where certain people just block LeBron tars off of their platform. I can see. I'm almost getting to that point. I ain't there yet because I still want to kind of entertain it because I want to see what their face going to look like when LeBron James wins the NBA title and he won it off of all of this bullshit. The 27th law of power. All of this nonsense of the media covering him 24/7. We have other NBA players that are playing. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the most deserving of the MVP. He should win that. We have Zion Williamson. That's the future of the NBA. The NBA should be all over that, man. But they still talking about LeBron, the past. Are you kidding me? Zion is the future, man. This guy's going to dominate the NBA for the next 15 plus years. Why aren't they talking about this guy more? Because they force-fed LeBron to us when LeBron came in. But why they ain't doing that to Zion? You know why they ain't doing that? Because they know talking about anybody else takes the attention away from LeBron. And the LBJ Riders media has invested so much in LeBron that LeBron has to win this NBA title, y'all. 3 won't cut it because they out of their own mouths. They put their reputation at stake here. They said that LeBron is the greatest player of all time. You can't justify that when a guy's 3 for 9, 33.3% NBA Finals averager performer. You can't justify that. You need the guy to at least have 4 titles, even though it's going to take him 10 tries to do it. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I've always put LeBron James in the likings of a Jerry West of the world, and I've always put him in the likings of a Wilt Chamberlain of the world. You know why? because these guys have lost more NBA finals than they have won. This is where LeBron belongs. Lower echelon of the pantheon of greatness. Because you go to the dance 9 times and you only win 3, I can't justify that. And then the 3 times that you won, the situation had to be so perfect for you to win. Dwayne Wade had to bail your ass out against the Oklahoma City Thunder because he guarded and shut down Russell Westbrook. Chris Bosh and Ray Allen, because Chris Bosh had to get the rebound because Greg Popovich remembered, oh shit, Tim Duncan's not in the game. Chris Bosh gets the rebound, kicks it out to Ray Allen. Ray Allen hits the 3. They win the game for you, and that seals the series. And it basically mentally takes away the San Antonio Spurs, because you guys have to understand in basketball, when a team is mentally distraught like that, that in of itself eliminates them from the finals. And then we got to fast forward into Kyrie Irving dropping 2 41-point games and a 36-point game, but he don't get the finals MVP. Draymond Green gets suspended for the B word. Andrew Bogut goes down and hurt. Come on, man. This guy has too many facets that are open and available to him that exposes this guy on so many levels. And the truth of the fact of the matter is, like I've said before, and I will say it again, so rehear me and rehear me. Well, LeBron James is not what you guys think that he is. But when he wins this title, every truth teller that's out there is going to remind you guys when we told you why he won the NBA title. And he knows the sport going to be right there to lead that pack to tell you guys he won because of Lagoon reffing, because you guys saw that last night with 30 calls versus 27 calls. He's going to win it because of LBJ Riders Media. Every time they turn, LeBron, and he's going to win it because Nike and the NBA invested $90 million on this dude, and they have to recoup their investment. And to recoup it, they need a minimum of 4 NBA titles, y'all. 3 ain't going to cut it. Phil Knight is damn near wringing Adam Silver's neck. He can't wring David Stern's neck no more because David Stern is, God rest his soul, he's RIP. But he's wringing Adam Silver's neck right now saying, yo, I put $90 million in this cat. What the heck? Where the heck is his NBA titles to justify $90 million? This is why Nike can't say that LeBron James is indefinite. You see how they made Michael Jordan indefinite? They made Michael Jordan indefinite because Michael Jordan is part of that 4 titles or more. In order for LeBron to be indefinite in their category, he has to at least have 4 titles. So this is why all of these people that's involved are making sure they're doing what they got to do so LeBron James wins this damn NBA title, man. And they're doing it off of the least path of resistance. This is so sickening because they're doing it off of the weakest NBA season. And I want all truth tellers out here to remind everybody that he won off of a fraudulent, a fluky, and an on-the-spot NBA championship. That's why I got to give Shaquille O'Neal credit. I done promoted him from Big El Stupido to Big Aristotle because that was the smartest shit that came out of Shaquille O'Neal's mouth in modern-day history. When he said LeBron James is going to win a fluky, fraudulent, on-the-spot NBA title. And I know why Shaq did that. He had to throw that jab because he knows that NBA title can't justify what these last Laker greats had to go through to win theirs. Because they had to do it in a real season with real heavyweight lifting. Whereas LeBron James is doing it with this cockamamie NBA season where everybody's playing sloppy basketball. Everybody's not up to par. There's no Kevin Durant in sight to basically put that crooked little 35-foot in the eye in his damn face. There's none of that. But you best believe next year, and I can't wait for next year, when Kevin Durant bring his ass back, it is over. Signed, sealed, and delivered like UPS. That boy's going to have something to say about what he's going to be doing and his tear in the NBA season, bro. Richie Rich, close us out, man.
Yeah, man. You went in on that, boy. And I just hope more people wake up, man, because they're in a dream state right now, man. They're allowing this media to mess with their minds, man, on what competitive basketball is supposed to be. Wake up, man. LeBron James doesn't deserve all this recognition because he's cheated the game. but yet he still gets this cult-like following, this cult-like media following to tell us different. You know, that he's this great player, that he's overcome these obstacles, which he hasn't. He's always taken the easier route, easier path to to gain his success, and that's not how it's done. That's not how the old OG players did it, man. The OG players, if they failed, they came back and they won, and they won with who they had. LeBron James continues to look for a better situation to overcome a situation. You saw what he did with the Lakers. You know, Lonzo Ball, uh, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart. He was trying to trade these guys during last season to get Anthony Davis, and these guys knew that, and LeBron knew that too. But what did he say? He's like, "Hey man, this is a business. These guys will be okay." He didn't care about their feelings. He wanted AD on that team, man, so he could start getting that chemistry down with AD, or making the noise in the playoffs that last season. He wanted AD. He went over there. He already had in his mind that, okay, AD's coming over here, and it needs to happen. He needs to happen this season. We need to get in the postseason and make some kind of noise. That's how LeBron don't just make a move for nothing. You already knew somebody was getting traded, and he was getting a big star to come over there with. When he made that move to Los, when you assume LeBron's going to a team, understand, no, it's not just him. There's a package that's going to be done, man. That's how that guy moves, man. He moves. He likes to take a shortcut, easy paths. Hey, we got to start calling this dude out. But the media, man, they're just gonna keep trying to, play around with us, tell us different, but we can't succumb to that, man. Succumb to that mind control that they're trying to do on us. Like they're trying to mess around with our heads and trying to tell us that that's the competitive way. That's not the competitive way, man. You know what I'm saying? Adam Silver needs to wake up, because you got other stars in this league, man, and they doing their thing. These other guys could carry this NBA. LeBron's time is done. We don't need your services anymore, bro. You done came and you done went, but your legacy, man, is not spectacular. It's like, okay, yeah, you won your championships, but it's not impressive. What's that dude took that shortcut? Listen, I was watching his time in Cleveland, those 7 years. You was watching his time, he knows. I was waiting to see what this man was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? He has a rule. He normally gives a player 7 years, because it took MJ about 7 years to win a championship. 7 years. If he can't do nothing in 7 years, at least get to a finals, at least make some noise. That guy's not a real deal player. He's not a legit guy. That's he knows rules, and I agree with he knows. 7 years is enough time for us to see, for the fans of the game to see if you actually a real deal player. LeBron couldn't do it in 7 years. He couldn't do it in 7 years. He got to the finals in less amount of time, but what was the reason why he got to those finals? That was a weak Eastern Conference. Kevin Arenas and Karan Butler, they both were injured that year. They didn't play in the finals that season against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So he didn't have to go through that team. Also, he played against the Detroit Pistons, that no longer had Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace signed with the Bulls that year because they paid him max money. He wanted money. The Pistons were cheap. They didn't want to pay Ben Wallace, and they paid for it. They lost to LeBron that year. But that wasn't the same Pistons team, man. If Ben Wallace was on that Pistons, I don't think LeBron gets past the Detroit Pistons. Honestly, because he would have had that fearful presence down low in the paint, waiting for him every time he drives in. We all know LeBron does not like bigs that can alter his attempts at the rim. You've seen it in the finals that he's lost before against the Dallas Mavericks. Tyson Chandler, man. He doesn't like playing against teams opposition that got bigs like that. when they played against Golden State, Andrew Bogut, JaVale McGee, guys that can make LeBron think twice about lowering his shoulder and going to the basket. Centers that will send that ball into the front row. LeBron don't like playing against bigs like that. So the Clippers now, they don't really have a big like that, but they have the perimeter. They have the perimeter players. You saw Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. They could wear LeBron down, and that's exactly what they were doing. But their bigs are still kind of weak. Their Joakim, he was doing some things that I like. Maybe Doc Rivers should give Joakim more minutes so he could play on Anthony Davis, because he had a couple plays on Anthony Davis where he might be able to do some things, because Joakim Noah was a former defensive player to MVP. That man, listen, Joakim Noah is the former. He's not what he used to be, but you gotta listen when you that thin on the front line position. You brought in Joakim for a reason. Let's see what he could do on Anthony Davis. I'd like to see that. Would you? He knows.
Exactly. I would definitely like to see how that's going to pan out, man. But I'm addressing the haters and the damn trolls, man, because we like to address them too. You know what I'm saying? You for a reason. You tuning in for a reason. That's what I said. Alphas always attract betas, though. You tuning in for a reason. You're tuning in for a reason, bro. It's because the talent is undeniable, though. That shit is undeniable. So you have to bend the fucking knee. You have to. Woo! You have to bend the knee, though. That's it. Like Netta said, he knows, though. Damn right. You have to bend the proverbial knee. That's it. We back to entertaining them, though. You know why? Because guess what? They bring action. You can set their ass up in the chat.
Hey, look at Bill Beasley. Kawhi was clamping that man up too. Now, because LeBron gets a play where the last play where he's able to play some decent defense on Kawhi and make a pass up to PG. LeBron gets the credit like he's some kind of defensive savant or ace or something like that, which doesn't make sense. That was a good play. He forced Kawhi to pass the ball, but he wasn't doing that to Kawhi throughout the whole game like Kawhi was doing that to him.
Exactly.
And that's what the media don't want to bring up. They only want to bring up that one play for LeBron. But then he fouled Paul George on that play where Paul George had the ball and he was trying to attempt the shot. LeBron put his forearm right on that man's hip to alter his shot. The referee looking right at what LeBron did to PG. PG trying to talk with the referee. The referee don't even want to look at PG. He's like, hey, PG just said, man, you know what? Forget you, bro. He went to the locker room. Because, hey, we already know the politics in the NBA. Maybe you're right. Maybe they trying to look out for LeBron in this bubble, man. But I don't know. I still think LeBron is going to find some way to blunder this opportunity, because that's what he always does. If it's one thing you could count on LeBron to do, it's to blunder opportunity. Everything could be. The stars can align for this man. But he's going to find some way to fail that opportunity. And I think he's going to do it again with Anthony Davis.
Yep.
In this bubble.
That's it. Richie Rich close this out, dog. Hey, listen, man. We dropped them napalms for y'all. And we back on active rotation. We got all of the hot people in the building. Lewis Sports Network, I'm reaching out to you. Next week, we're going to shut this motherfucker down. Everybody that was in the live, thank you for showing up and showing out. Anthony L., you did your damn thing. You're always the spark plug. I love this game. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate everyone that showed up and showed out. And we're going to bring y'all more of these lives, man, because when it's all said and done, the series has started, man. The ultimate truth tellers out here in these basketball streets, man. And we're going to have these ultimate truth tellers come out and talk. Sean O., you're going to get your jersey called eventually so you could come out and you could be belligerent as you want to be. Netta, you too. I love this game. You too. Any and everybody that want to come and be a part of the panel, y'all know what time it is. He knows got to go in there and tear this whole boxing live stream up next. But we back on active rotation, y'all. And we here to debunk the foolery and the nonsense, man. Richie Rich, appreciate you, man. Anyone that's new to the platform, make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up, man. Make sure y'all show support to the platform. But you know I had to lead with showing this. See? So I told y'all, we got to make these betas bend the fucking knee. Look what he said. I'll be honest. Love it. That's it, though. Because I tell it, man, the truth. These betas know. Alphas attract fucking betas, man. It is what it is. That's why Wonetta did this. See, I got to clown these motherfuckers. That's why she did this. Because when it's all said and done, when the talent is there, the talent is undeniable, man. That shit is undeniable, dog. Tyrone Spencer, appreciate you, brother. Y'all do y'all next thing, man. Boxing's coming up next. For those that want to transverse over to the boxing, y'all do y'all thing. Hey, I know Lewis Sports Network gonna be covering basketball. For those that want to check my boy out on the basketball side, make sure y'all check that brother's channel out, man, because we support our own over here. Y'all take care. Y'all have a great TGIF Friday. Peace to everyone. Richie Rich, thank you, man. We're gonna kill this thing again next week, y'all. Peace.
Peace.